Go into a hardware store and look at the toilet aisle. There is a $99 one on the bottom shelf and a $999 one on the display plinth, and they are separated by 6 specifications that actually change how the thing behaves. 6. Everything else is trim. Number 2 is the number printed nowhere on the box that tells you exactly how well it flushes. Number 4 is the one you can add to the toilet you already own for $300, and it is the entire reason people come back from Japan and remodel their bathroom. And the last one is why the $900 toilet is almost never the right answer. You are not bad at shopping for this. The specification that matters is deliberately not on the shelf label. Number 1 is the trapway, and it is the part of the toilet nobody looks at because you cannot see it. Inside that porcelain, there is an S-shaped channel called the trapway, and 2 things about it decide whether you plunge this toilet for the next 20 years. Its diameter and its glaze. On a cheap toilet, the trapway is around 2 inches, and the inside of it is raw, unglazed ceramic, because glazing a curved internal passage is a manufacturing step, and steps cost money. Raw ceramic under a microscope is not smooth, it grabs. On a good toilet, the trapway is 2 1/8 or 2 3/8 inches, and it is fully glazed end to end, which is the phrase you look for on the spec sheet. Fully glazed trapway. It is not a marketing word, it is a process. So here is your self-test on the toilet you already own. Go read the model number off the back of the tank or inside the tank lid, search it, and find the trapway line. If it does not say fully glazed, that is why yours streaks and holds waste against the wall of the trap on the way out. And the diameter is why the flapper alone was never your problem. Which brings me to number 2. And this is the number that should be on the front of every box and is on none of them. There is an independent testing program called MOP, short for Maximum Performance, that loads a toilet with soybean paste test media and increases the mass until the toilet fails, and publishes the result in grams. The Federal WaterSense standard requires a toilet to clear 350 grams, which is already about twice what a normal human being produces in one sitting. Testing tops out at 1,000 grams. Anything at 600 or above with a low flush volume earns what they call a MAP premium rating, and that is the honest sweet spot. Now, the important part. There are $150 toilets scoring 1,000 grams, and there are $500 toilets scoring 400. Price and MOP score are barely correlated. Pause this, go to maptesting.com, and type in the model number you just read off your tank. It takes 90 seconds, and it will tell you more about your toilet than every review you have ever read. That is the score. Number 3 is what produces it. Look inside your tank at the opening in the bottom where the water leaves. If it is roughly the size of a golf ball, that is a 2-inch flush valve. If it is the size of a baseball, that is 3 inches. This is the single mechanical difference that separates a builder-grade toilet from a good one, and it is almost never advertised on the shelf tag. A 3-inch opening dumps the entire tank in about 3 to 4 seconds. A 2-inch opening takes 6 to 8. Same water, half the delivery rate. And the flush is a siphon, which means it either establishes or it does not, and establishing it is entirely a question of filling that trapway fast enough to get the column moving. 6 seconds is too slow. That is your double flush. That is the pause where you stand there watching the water rise and hoping. So if you are shopping, 3-inch valve, fully glazed trapway 2 1/8 or wider, MOP 600 or better. Those 3 things together are available for around $200 to $300, and they are 90% of what you are paying $900 for. Which leaves the question of what the other $700 buys, and that is number 4. In Japan, 81% of households have a bidet seat, not a bidet as a separate fixture in the corner. A seat on the toilet they already had, with a warm water nozzle and a heated seat and a deodorizer, and they have been standard in middle-class homes since the 1980s. More than 70 million have been sold. Now here is the thing almost nobody in this country understands, and it is genuinely the most useful fact in this video. That is a seat. It unbolts. You do not buy a smart toilet to get it. You unbolt your existing seat, put the new one on, connect it to the same supply line with the included T-valve, and plug it into an outlet. 15 to 30 minutes with no plumber. A non-electric attachment runs $35 to $50. A proper heated one with warm water is $250 to $400. So the $1,500 integrated smart toilet and the $300 toilet with a $300 seat on it do the same two jobs, and one of them lets you replace either half when it breaks. That is the whole arbitrage. That is the seat. Number 5 is the surface. And this is where the money does something real. High-end Japanese and European toilets use an engineered glaze, and the mechanism is not chemical, it is geometric. Ordinary ceramic glaze under magnification has pores that waste and mineral get into and hold on to. The premium glazes are smoother at that scale, so there is less for anything to grip. It works, and it is measurable. But be honest about what it buys you. It saves you scrubbing. It does not flush better, and on a lot of models it is the difference between a $400 toilet and a $700 one. If you have hard water and you hate cleaning, it is worth it. If you are buying it because you think it will stop clogs, you have bought the wrong upgrade. Number 6 is the one somebody has already noticed in your house. Go stand in your bathroom and look at the base of your toilet where it meets the floor. On a cheap toilet, you are looking at exposed bolt caps and a rough unfinished underside with an inch-wide gap running back to the wall that no mop has ever entered. On a skirted toilet, which starts around $300, the sides come straight down to the floor and there is nothing under there at all. Here is why this is not a vanity feature. That gap is the single hardest thing in a bathroom to clean. It collects everything, and it is directly responsible for the faint smell in the room on humid days. Somebody who visited your house noticed that once, mentioned it, and you said it was probably the drain. They did not bring it up again. It is not the drain. It is 2 square feet of floor nobody has touched since the toilet went in. And the honest fix on the toilet you already own costs $3. Caulk the base and leave 3 or 4 inches open at the very back so any future leak shows itself on your tile instead of rotting the floor in the dark. Then you can actually mop against it. Now, this next one will feel counterintuitive. Everybody assumes the $99 toilet is the trap and the $9.99 is the safe choice. It is the opposite. Above about $400, almost everything you are paying for is either the seat, which unbolts, or the styling, which is trim, or an electronic module that will fail in 8 years and cost more to replace than a whole basic toilet. Below about $150, you are buying a 2-inch valve and an unglazed trap, and you will fight it forever. The value is stacked hard in the middle, and it is the same shape as the Japanese answer, which is a plain, extremely well-engineered ceramic bowl with a very good seat bolted onto it. 2 systems, replaceable separately. So the unifying thesis: your market sells you a price tier and assumes you cannot evaluate anything, so it competes on the parts you can see. Theirs separated the fixture from the feature 40 years ago, so the ceramic is boring and permanent, and the clever part is a seat you can swap in 20 minutes. One is a product line, the other is an architecture, and none of this was a failure of research on your part. The two numbers that decide everything, the flush valve diameter and the MOP score, are not printed on the shelf label, and that is not an accident either. So the diagnostic you take into any store from now on is 3 questions. Which part of this can I replace on its own when it fails? Which specification is being hidden rather than advertised? And am I paying for performance or for the housing around it? Do not go buy a toilet this weekend. Do one thing tonight. Read the model number off the inside of your tank lid and look it up on maptesting.com. 5 minutes. If it comes back 600 grams or higher, your toilet is fine and every clog you have had is a rim jet or a flapper problem, both of which cost under $12 to fix. If it comes back under $350, or it is not listed at all, you now know that no amount of cleaning was ever going to fix it, and you can replace it deliberately for around $250 rather than in a panic on a Sunday. Tell me in the comments what your MAP score came back as and whether your flush valve opening is golf ball or baseball. And if your household has been double flushing for years, go check before you comment, because I want to know how many of you find out it was never you. Next time I want to get into that bidet seat properly, including the one installation detail that decides whether it works with your existing plumbing. Thanks for watching. Go read the tank lid.